Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messino, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be
here.
here.
Thank you for answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the peg game is going to stay?
The peg game is staying.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs,
And the
fireplace, vintage decor. It's all there.
All right. Okay, because that would be a deal breaker. That would be a deal breaker.
Honestly,
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We are live, obviously. And Cracker Barrel is crashing. That's my question. That's the question I'm asking. We're leading off the show with Cracker Barrel today. It's been a while. I know that's been a topic that may have been discussed ad nauseum, but we're going to talk about it because I think it has some cultural implications, and I think we can bring some sanity in our discussion about the situation. Now, thank you to everybody that's liking and commenting and subscribing, that you're going to do that as you come in. And as you come in, let me know where you're from. I will shout you out. But Cracker Barrel has decided that it's going for that utilitarian, no tradition, no real, what's the word I'm looking for? Just distinct. Yes, nothing is distinct about the logo below, right? Some people have said you remove the cracker and and the barrel, okay? There's been so many good memes, so many good jokes, but there's a real sense in which this is a consistent, targeted, purposeful removal of anything that can be identified as distinctly American. Cracker Barrel was supposed to be distinctly American. What's going on, doing work? How are you doing today? Thank you for tuning in. One of my members, always appreciate you. Now, it was distinctly American. When you looked at the old country man with the barrel, you thought America, right? Middle America, hard work, barrels, right? What's going on, Michael Wilbur, right? He said crackers sounds sweet, right? I mean, there's so many good jokes about this that I've been having a good time laughing at it all. But I do believe there's some cultural significance to the removal of symbols. I'm thinking, let's look at this pattern that we've been seeing recently here with these remodels, and check this out. See if you can actually recognize the trend, right? Nothing about the ones on the left. Well, something about the ones on the left would make them distinct. The coloring, the architecture called back to something distinct about the cultural phenomenon that these restaurants were. The ones on the right look like they could come out of any Orwellian, Huxleyan nightmare. Just bland, colorless to a certain degree, all utilitarian, nothing unique about them. They're a box. They're the rectangles, right? Just rectangles and squares, and that's it. It's very, yeah. Right. I mean, it does. You could tell when you went to that place. Oh, I'm probably going to get some Hispanic food. Cracker Barrel. Oh, I'm probably going to, is an old country fair, a place where you can get knickknacks that are country. This Pizza Hut, I don't know. Maybe you were thinking, hey, we're going to get pizza. I remember the cups and But McDonald's, red and yellow were supposed to, those colors, I believe that they've been proven to have an effect on the mind when it comes to hunger. I'm not 100% certain about that, but yes. What's going on, Donna Wilkinson? Hello, welcome to you. Doing work, you're already in here. Stick Schofield, thank you. And I don't know how to say your name. Walk and Walt. There you go, Walk and Walt. All right. Yes. But you see this, and even there was a thread. Right, that's Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? You think about all these, what is it that I had a post. I saw a post, oh man, someone had a really good post about Francis Schaeffer and his How Should We Then Live, and his series of videos. I think they're free on Amazon Prime, but he discusses how the communists and the like would want to remove all symbols that would remind you of tradition of the nation that you came from. They would turn all art into a utilitarian hellscape. That they would, the true, the beautiful, and good, they would strip it, whether it be from music, art, and the like. So these things would become, they're things that inspire people to change, to grow, to improve, to seek, to study. And you have to take those things away if you want to control the masses. Well, if you think about what has been happening over the past 20 to 30, maybe 40 years, the systematic removal of any symbols that would cause you to be inspired. Art has become lifeless and uninspiring. You see the same thing with our architecture. Cracker Barrel is just falling right in line with the prevailing ideology of the zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it. And we're seeing that it's a common, where's this common trend? Common thread amongst the people who are making the decisions. If only we could find the common denominator of all these horrible corporate marketing decisions. Bud Light, right here, Bud Light, Cracker Barrel, NPR. This woman destroyed Star Wars. I mean, right. And look, and that's another one. No more Aunt Jemima, no more Uncle Ben, the Land O'Lakes lady. My wife sent me that picture earlier. Right? They're all, and then the old countryman they all gone up to marketing heaven, I guess. But what this is the same. There's a common denominator between all the judges who allow the Simon, what is that monster from Minneapolis, I believe, that was caught on camera trying to abduct an 11-year-old child. She lets him go. Liberal white woman. CEOs of these companies here, all four of them, right? Liberal white women. I mean, when do we take the hint and figure out that these are the problems that we're having with this nation? Cracker Barrel is crashing. Star Wars is doubling down on the LGBTQ. Got to have this black transgender, Jedi, and everybody's got to be meet a certain level of a certain number of intersections before we allow the show to be produced. If you have to have a gay, half white, half black man-child as the producer, or we're not going to, we need their vision of Star Wars. We just make good content. That's all people want. That's really all we want. We want good food, good art, good music. If you think about music over the past 30 to 40 years, it's turned into the same 4 chords. I know y'all have seen that, right? 4 chords. It's the same 4 chords over and over and over again. Taylor Swift song, name the other. There's 4 chords. I get students coming to me wanting to learn how to sing these songs. I play them. Same 4 chords. Same 4 chords. If you learn these 4 chords, you'll be fine. If you want to play pop music, learn 4 chords. You'll be fine. It's the same thing. So now music doesn't even have any variance. It's all utilitarian. We're going to dumb music down so that the masses enjoy it. Cracker Barrel is just the latest in a long line of continued destruction of anything unique about what makes America America. So and that's why I even asked that question in the description. Are these all just distractions so that the elites can continue to push their agenda while we're fighting over this nonsense? And right in front of our faces, they're just, at this point, I don't even think they care whether or not we recognize it. I don't know. They're like, you're too far gone. You're too far gone. They're daring us to actually vote them out or do something that causes them to, shudder a little bit. We will hear a lot of, because I listen to people like, I listened to Matt Walsh recently, and he was discussing some things that could help to change the nation. And I'm going to get to some of these comments. I appreciate you all. Let me, because we're 10 minutes in. I want to make sure I say hello to everybody that's come in since then. Austin Sismeli, all right, welcome. Debo, welcome. Noah, welcome. Puck Luck, welcome. G West, all right. CRXR, welcome. All right, thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Okay, you're asking when will it end? I don't know, brother. I don't know when the Lord comes back. All right, Marianne Cordova, thank you. Welcome. Extreme Minecraft, welcome. All right, Bill R, thank you. All right, what's going on, everybody? Door Jam, all right, thank you. Welcome. All right, Control Delete, welcome back. DD, welcome back. All right, let's see. I think I already said that. Drew Hardman, welcome. Sean Boyd, welcome. Delore Farrell, welcome. All right, bowl full of ramen. All right. That gets you through college, a bowl full of ramen. Welcome. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Okay, so Renzo joined. Thank you. Jones, just welcome. Thank you for joining. All right, and the chairman, howdy. All right, thank you. And Faze, bourbon and bad decisions. Whoa, bourbon and bad decisions. Yeah, all right, there you go. Thank you, Dirt Dog 173 from the Jersey Shore. All right, yes, haha, it did. All right, there you go. I got you through college. There you go. Okay, so we're sitting here thinking, all right, well, there's an obvious problem. And we can see the problem, right? DEI has promoted people who don't belong in certain positions, into these positions, and because they have to, what's the word I'm looking for? To not verify, validate. They have to validate their position. They've got to do something to change. And these people they'll change just for the sake of change, but in changing, they make everything the same. When we looked at these 4 distinct restaurants, we knew where we were going. Now, if you didn't know the name of these places, if you didn't already have the brand association when you went to this McDonald's, what would you think you were getting there? Pizza Hut. What if you didn't know the name? What about this place would scream pizza? Cracker Barrel. What about this place would scream old country store to you? About this version of it. Now, this version, yeah, you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, I'm going to an old country store. Yeah. Taco Bell. Am I going to get tacos here? Probably not. Tacos are a Mexican food. There's nothing about this place that looks Mexican. Nothing. This is... So we're talking about right now, Haley McDonald, we're talking about Cracker Barrels right there. Cracker Barrel crashing right there. It's right there. Right there. Right. Cracker Barrel crashing. Okay. And we're talking about how that affects or how that points to a deeper problem in the culture of this utilitarian art, music, architecture. And yeah, no, we know that Taco Bell is not real Mexican. We understand that, guys. It's not. Thank you for the news flash. We understand it. Okay. All right. Anyway, I guess everybody has to feel like they're making some kind of extremely, relevant point. But nobody believes that that's authentic Mexican. Nobody. All right. But anyway. But we're talking about this removal of tradition, removal of uniqueness, removal of anything that could point back to a recognition of tradition and cultural norms, right? So that's what we're talking about. And art and music, architecture and the like are expressions of the soul, expressions of beauty, expressions of truth, expressions of what people believe to be good. Well, what's going on, Pro What? Well, this is what the left liberal communist playbook believes is good. Boxes, rectangles, utilitarian, the destruction of beauty. That's essentially what they're about. And so we're going to discuss why this is a problem, right? And we see now that people are actually pushing back against it. All right. All right. So we have a Cracker Barrel insider, and this is the insider right here. Okay. He talks about the fact that there's a woke destruction going on in this uniquely American subscription. Thank you, the chairman. I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate all my subscribers. We just got over 13,000. Our goal for year end was 10,000. So we've already hit that goal. We got to create a new goal. And I guess the new goal is 20,000. We'll just double it, right? We'll double it and see what we can do. I just got to start posting a little bit more often. I posted 31 times. I went live 31 times in July. I had to slow it down a little bit. All right. We're gonna pick it back up. Yes. Right. So exclusive. Now, the woke destruction of an American institution. Eric Russell spent nearly 10 years working at Cracker Barrel. He's done every job at the restaurant. Eric even met his wife there, right? So to Eric, Cracker Barrel was a place where tradition lived and values mattered. Okay. Now, over the past decade, Eric personally witnessed from the inside how corporate sabotage destroyed the Cracker Barrel American institution. Be reminded that the left hates America. They hate American traditions. They hate American history. They use black people as they've used them. Let's say this, since the 1960s, they've used them as a way, or as a voting bloc, or as a culture, or as a people, to systematically erode everything that is uniquely American. Anything good that America has done, well, it doesn't matter, because you had an original sin of racism and you have to pay for it. So that means you can't be successful. You can't praise any American ingenuity. You can't praise American exceptionalism. America was never great. It's America this, America. You have to hate America in order to be distinctly American. Apparently, that's what it is, right? And again, you can't make this.
You can't
up, right?
make this up.
But anything that's traditionally American is seen as automatically bad by the left, right? You can praise. Okay. Oh, really? Oh, he says that you can praise America, just go ahead and do it then, Martin. Go ahead and praise America to a leftist, and you'll find out whether or not they like what you say. All right. So now you go ahead and find out. Go praise. Say something nice about America, right? Now, here's the crazy thing. I think I've eaten at a Cracker Barrel one time, and that was during my senior trip. Yeah. Right? Oh, you're a leftist? Oh, never mind then. Ugh. All right. So, but over the past decade, all right, so Cracker Barrel was founded on Southern hospitality and tradition. It's American. Southern hospitality, tradition, by a Christian family in 1969. This was after the Civil Rights Bill. So it's 1969. All right. Since the original owners passed away, company leadership has gone through major changes. This is also one of the most pernicious things about starting something and not having a plan, because Ecclesiastes talks about this. You can build up wealth, but eventually your wealth will go to a fool, right? When you die. That's why he says vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Building up wealth, building up all of these other things and building up businesses and the like. He said ultimately it's vanity, because a fool is going to get it and they can destroy it. And this is exactly what's happening with Cracker Barrel. They built something that was based on traditional Southern values, traditional Christian values, and it's been taken over by a leftist because they can't control it. They're gone. They're dead. And now their business has been taken over by leftists. Leftists don't create. They come and they siphon what other people create through their hard work. Let's call it progressives. They siphon what other people have created through their hard work, tradition, and beauty and discipline. And then they try to rebrand it and make it something that it wasn't supposed to be. They turn it on its head. That's what the left or progressives do. They can't create their own country like this one. So what are they going to do? Well, we'll subvert. We'll come over here after World War II and we'll start teaching all of the socialist playbook, the Marxist playbook, and we'll get the professors to start teaching it, and then we'll filter it down all the way down to the ground level, and then we'll turn your children into Marxists because we'll make them Marxists in the public school system. And then you won't recognize, well, wait, I had traditional values and now my children don't. How did this happen? Oh, wait, it's too late now, though, because you lost a generation. Oh, and now you have children who have been raised in America, don't know anything besides American values, have benefited from all of the hard work of Americans from the past and even in the present, and they hate the country that they're a part of. That's one of the most insane things that has happened in our culture, is that we have people who are living off of the system that hate the system. They wouldn't know how to operate or create a system like this if you set them out on an island, right? And you said, okay, you've got to do what the settlers did and create your own nation, form a government, work together, build houses, tame the land. Oh no, you can't do that, right? They wouldn't be able to do it, but they'll complain about the people who did it, saying, well, they own slaves. Did all of them own slaves? No. Can we talk about the actual history? Like, no, you just have to paint everybody that, oh, okay, everybody in that time frame was evil, inherently evil. Now, 200 years down the line, when people look back at us and see the vast number of aborted fetuses that are on our ledger, will they be able to say the same thing about us? About every person? Well, that means that everybody was deleting fetuses. What's going on, Brother Neil Moses? Right? Everybody was guilty of it. The whole American populace that lived during that time, they were all evil because they didn't stop it from happening. What? See, history won't be kind to us either. They won't look at the nuance of it. Okay? Now, let's get back to this. But they want to destroy everything American. He says it began with small changes. Classic brown menus replaced, uniforms relaxed, dress codes done away with to pander to the blue-haired employees. Then alcohol was introduced, breaking with decades of staying dry to preserve a family-first atmosphere set up by the original Christian owners. See, if they could get their hands on Chick-fil-A, they do the same thing. What's going on, CFO? Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate the super chat. Always going to address super chats. I appreciate you. Thank you again. Thank you. I appreciate. Right? Yes. And guys, don't worry about the trolls. If you're in here and you're supporting, don't worry about the trolls. I let the trolls in because they keep the engagement going. Y'all can address them in the chat. They're going to call me all kinds of names. They're going to call me, the names have just been, they've been coming up and through. But don't worry. I won't block them. They're going to get to do their thing. We just let them keep the engagement up, right? Because it all helps. It all helps, right? It all helps. Don't forget to like the video on your way in. Okay. And you can also join the channel for $1 to support the ministry and the work, right? Ministry, mission, you call it what you want. Okay. All right. Service and management. So you see these things, the logo symbolized the bygone era. So the logo was the final boss. The logo and the redesigns were final boss. Hey, what's going on, Steve from Salsa? All right. There you go. Been a long time. How you been? Yes. So we actually, if this the Steve I'm thinking about, it's the Steve that we used to, well, not he and I, we didn't dance together, but we were in the same salsa dancing community a long time ago. Yes. All right. So the idea is to slowly but surely erode everything that is specifically American. Now, the beautiful thing about America is that you can come to, what's going on, Nick Gibson? How you doing? All right. Yes. Awesome. See how that happens? Look, he just came across me. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. And you recognize this old face, huh? There you go. All right. Good seeing you. Yes, sir. All right. So we want to see. So this is the beautiful thing about America. You can come to this country bringing the good things from your culture and integrate those things into the American society. America was supposed to be about the best and the brightest. It's not just about, just white Americans, just black Americans. America was supposed to be the best and the brightest from all nations coming together underneath the ideas and traditions of America and continuing to push this nation forward. That was the purpose. Now we're just allowing any and everyone in, which is one of the reasons why we wanted Trump to close the border. We don't want to see. So this is essentially what the left wants. They want another slave labor force. They've always wanted slaves. They want to keep they changed it from who's going to pick my cotton to who's going to pick my strawberries. That's what they've done. Okay. That's what they want. Who's going to clean my hotel room? Who's going to be my maid? That's what they want. This is exactly what they're doing. Okay? Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah. He says send progressives and FBA plaques on the same island. Oh goodness. That would be an interesting experiment, because they'd find out how quickly they don't like each other. They don't. They're not really down with that, right? So essentially he just talks about the fact that the insider talks about the fact that they took everything that was traditionally American and traditionally Southern and replaced it with this new bland. Yeah, this looks like you wouldn't know this was Cracker Barrel. I mean, this looks like any other restaurant that you'd find just anywhere. This is the old inside had character. This is the old inside. It had character. Yeah. This is Southern, like right here. You knew. Oh yeah, this is a. What's going on, Gimli? Aye. This is Cracker Barrel. This is a uniquely Southern tradition. You can tell when you're in here where it's almost like you're transported back, right? Right? See, right. Rick said that's a Cracker Barrel I know. The other one could be a Waffle House. Who knows what? It's nothing unique about it. There's nothing unique about this. Those bland colors, that same boxy look. This is everywhere. You see this everywhere. Everywhere in the United States. Okay, I'll be sure. I do know that I have international viewers. When I say everywhere, I'm saying everywhere in the United States. Don't worry, guys. All right. Yes. Yeah. And then what was that? Someone mentioned it. Where my wife sent me this. Yeah, this is the picture that my wife sent me. Oh wait, no, that was a different one. Oh wait, she sent it to me on Instagram. Hold on, I'll send it. I'm gonna pull it up. Where is it? Here we go. Now people always wondering, like, what did your wife think about the stuff that you posted? And I'm like, well, my wife sends me a lot of the stuff that I post, so I think she's all good with it. She's the one. She was, are you doing a live tonight? I'm like, yeah. All right. So look, yeah, this is really like they took, what is it? The Redskins logo, the Cleveland Indians logo, right? Land O'Lakes, Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, now old Cracker Barrel man. They're essentially, yeah. They've all gone to the marketing in the sky, right? The marketing paradise in the sky. Yeah. So, unfortunately, this is what we've got to get used to. Now, we've talked about, let's see, it's about 30 minutes. We've gone talking about that. Now, we're going to transition because we talked about how this liberal woman, what's her name? Yes, Massino. Oh wait, we got to talk about this, right? Okay. We talk about the stock dive, right? Go woke, go broke. Right? Yes. Go woke, go broke, right? Okay. Cracker Barrel. This is the first time the stock price, right, plummeting. Okay. And the stock has been nosediving for a while. Well, let's see. The stock trend has been going down for a while. Let's pull this up. Let's see. Yeah, Julie Massino started right about here, and it's been progressively getting worse. Yeah. Right. Exactly, Sharon. Actions have consequences. Right. If we could get people to accept that, if we could get people to accept that reality, the vast majority, what is it? The Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Y, all the gens, right? Besides the ones that do accept responsibility. If we could just get them to accept that reality, that actions have consequences, that would be amazing. That also that ideas have consequences. That bad ideas bring bad results, right, Sharon? I mean, you would think that would be a common sense thing, but apparently we have divorced people from that reality, that they can make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, and then at the outcome of all of those bad decisions, eureka, success. Right, exactly, Big Metroid. Oh yeah, they've been making the Jaguar, the Bud Light. They've done, yes. Whoo, man, yes, yes. Double tap the screen. Don't forget to like the video on your way in. Thank you to everybody that is tuning in. So we're talking about that now. Julie has done a great job of crashing Cracker Barrel. Right, people say they got rid of the cracker and the barrel, and now it's just a shape with a font. You could have you could put that logo took no specific graphic design skill. None. I'm not a graphic designer, and I could have done that in 15 minutes. You could have paid me $20 and be like, here, take it. That's nothing. Right? That's nothing. Now, after the logo design, we've seen the stock plummet. Right? Okay. It went down pretty quickly. And it's continuing to do the opposite of what you want a stock to do. And now they've had a gentleman who's taken the blame for this. Where's that guy? Was it the marketing guy? He took the blame for, who is he? Where is he? Hold on one second. I have to find it. I didn't put this one in my list. I did save it, but I didn't put it in my list to go over. But since we're talking about it, let's see. Where is it? Yes, I got it. Here we go. Let me copy this link. And then we'll move on to the next topic. So, I was fired. This guy, I think, now let me make sure that this is right. Yes, okay. So he says, I was fired. This is Arthur McWaters. I was fired from Cracker Barrel today. I ran our company's rebranding team. Turns out a small group of angry activists didn't like that we took the old guy off the logo and threw a fit. They blamed me for tanking the stock price 19%. He says it. He says they tanked it 19%. Okay. And fired me on the spot. Taking some time to reflect, and we'll start looking for jobs soon. So, Chief Marketing Officer, Cracker Barrel, January 2025 to the present, spearheading the $700 million rebrand. Oh, $700 million rebranding effort across our 660 stores, including modern interiors, a new skinny menu, and a reimagined logo, sure to turn heads. Well, neither. Spirit, so $700 million. These people pay exorbitant amounts of money for the most basic, lifeless nonsense we're going to make our restaurant interior look like everybody else's. That'll make us unique. That'll turn heads. Yeah, you turned heads, but the wrong direction. You turned them away from your restaurant. 19% stock price destruction. Now, they fired him, but not that CEO. Right, exactly. For the wrong reasons. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Lord help them. They destroyed a company to buy pennies on the dollar to make it robotically soulless. That might be what the ultimate plan is. Oh, man. Yes, it does. It does look like Waffle House. It does look like a Waffle House. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The Land O'Lakes, they doing this. They're doing this everywhere. Right? Right. Now this person, they're trying to fact check him to see if he actually is that person, but we'll see. Yeah, we shall see. So we're going to switch gears. All right. We had the show lead in. We talked about that. Now the second part of our discussion is still going to center on liberals, but in the great state of Texas, right? Texas racist. Hold on. Racist gerrymandering. Now, let's talk. Now, is there racist? Oh, man. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. Let me close some of these tabs out and get ready. If y'all have any other last thoughts on Cracker Barrel, let me know. But we're going to talk about the racist gerrymandering in Texas, okay? Oh, boy. There's some really good things. Now, before we start, this is going to be our opening video. Representative Johnson is going to chastise you racists, right, about your racistness, okay, your racism. All right, here we go. He's going to tell us. Here we go. All right.
Because this is about racism. And if you can't hear it from them, then hear it from me. As a white woman and a daughter of a man of privilege and power, he knew that his strength was to bring people that didn't look like him to the table of government. And so 50 years later, after Barbara Jordan, aided by white people to have a voice, the first woman of color elected to the South, a woman who sat in the impeachment of Nixon, a woman who said that finally, after amendment, debate, and vote, I am finally part of we the people. To stand here as a 50-year-old woman and know that we now go back in time. So let's talk about cowardice and cheats.
All right. Now, before she keeps going, what's the scuttlebutt? Right? What's the problem, guys? So the problem is this new redistricting map that essentially takes away some seats from specific districts. But let's talk about historical gerrymandering, okay? Because she said we went back in time. Let's do that then. Let's go back in time. Overview. Historical redistricting in Texas. Early 1990s redistricting. Under Governor Ann Richards, the legislature created minority-majority districts in Dallas. Hispanic, Houston, Black. So Dallas, Hispanic, Houston, Black, and elsewhere. Lawsuits followed. Bush versus Vera, with the Supreme Court finding certain districts unconstitutionally racially gerrymandered, prompting redraws. Oh, wait. So Governor Ann Richards was actually, Democrat, actually guilty of racism. Oh boy. Well, in the 1990s. So she actually drew the lines based on race. That's racism. Hold on. That's racist! That's racist. That's actually racist. Now, yeah, we got to talk about it. I don't know. We're going to see. Thank you for the super chat, though. All right. Thank you for this exposing Jerry. I mean, so that's one. We went back in time. We're just going to go back in time. Because she said, well, we're going back in time. We're just going back in time. So I'm going to listen to her and go back in time. So we got one, early 1900s or 1990s, actual racism. All right. Mid-decade redistricting. Republicans holding both legislative chambers enacted an off-cycle redistricting, shifting many districts toward the GOP. Democratic legislators responded with dramatic walkouts. Some fled to Oklahoma or New Mexico to block passage. Whoa. Wait. So 22 years ago, the same thing happened. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld most of the map in League of United Latin American Citizens versus Perry, 2006, but struck down District 23 for racial gerrymandering. A court then remedied several nearby districts. So all the gyrations that the Democrats did, they did it before. Now, she said this one's all about racism, but the courts upheld that it wasn't racist because they were essentially saying, okay, well, we got the House and the Senate. We're going to redistrict this so that it favors us. Why wouldn't the GOP do that? Ann Richards tried to do it. It seems like Democrats and Republicans, when they have the opportunity, will try to favor themselves with the districting. Why does it have to be racist, though? Because that is the play for progressives and leftists. They use black people as, right? If you do anything that's racist, we're going to jam you. You can't be racist. And then that makes Republicans shrink back. Oh, no, we don't want to be accused of being racist. For years it did. Now it seems, and thankfully so, that tactic is no longer working. Because when you allow someone or allow a term to stop you from doing what's in the best interest of the nation, the left can seize upon that, then flood the country with illegal immigrants who have anchor babies, and then the Great Reset happens right under your noses. And for too many years, Republicans have shrunk back when Democrats call everything they do racist. Oh, we don't want to be called racist. Let them call you whatever they want to call you. If Republicans have the power, why wouldn't they gerrymander? When Democrats have the power, they're going to do it. Rules for thee, but not for me. That shouldn't be acceptable. Look, this is just whenever Republicans, I'm going to give y'all a tip. I'm going to give Republicans a tip. It doesn't matter what you do. This is how the vast majority of black people view the Republican Party. Just listen. Listen to Jasmine Crockett.
I talk to black folk all the time as somebody that's a child of a preacher. Listen, most black people are not Republicans simply because we just is like, y'all racist. I can't hang out with the KKK in them. That's really what it is. But when we think about who we are as black people and we think about where we come from, most black people have very conservative values, right? But the reality is that, like, we just can't side with, like, the neo-Nazis in them. We not dealing with y'all like that, right?
Now, Jay, you asked me to stop. I'm not trying to turn Republicans against each other. I'm trying to get Republicans to realize that black people and leftists look at them as enemies. They say it out loud. They're not shy about it. And so what Republicans need to do is accept the reality and govern the way they think is best when they have the power to do so. Because the left is going to do that every time they get power. They're going to try to enact their agenda or implement their agenda at breakneck speed. We've seen it happen time and time again. LGBTQ, Obama, gay marriage, LGBTQ rights, illegal immigration, under Biden, flood of illegal immigrants into the country. They go for it. When they get power, they go for it. Well, and Republicans sit back and say, well, we're not going to play those games because we're more, well-to-do, and we're not going to stoop to their level, and we're going to try to go through the proper channels, and it's like, well, use the same tactics that they're using. At some point, you've got to say, okay, we're going to fight fire with fire. Yeah, he sure didn't. Not when he first came into office. He didn't. Not when he came into office, right? And again, all I'm saying is if you get into office and you're afraid to implement your agenda because you're afraid of being called names, then you probably shouldn't be in office. If somebody calling you an Uncle Tom, a coon, a racist, a sellout, or whatever, it stops you from doing what you think is best for the nation, then you probably don't have what it takes. I get called those things all the time about the stuff that I'm trying to do with my family, the way that we live our lives, the way that I run this channel. It doesn't stop me. It's amazing to see that Republicans, and even in this video, she said, we're not trying to hang out with the KKK. And the KKK was Democrat. But this is, I'm telling you all, growing up in black culture, this is the prevailing thought pattern. I can tell you that for the majority of black people, this is how they think. This is why, when y'all want to know why 90+% of black people vote Democrat, it's because
they're going to put you all back in chains.
They can always point back to what Biden says, what she says, that the chains are coming if we don't vote for Democrats. The chains are a-coming. They're going to put y'all back in chains because that's racist Republicans. Racist Republicans. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in and subscribing. Right? And so you can have a presidential candidate say,
and you ain't black.
If you don't vote for me, if you have a problem figuring out whether or not you for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. You ain't. So your blackness is defined by whether or not you vote Democrat or are on the Democrat plantation. Don't think, if you think conservatively and you let it be known, then you're a sellout, coon, Uncle Tom. Yes. Don't be a libertarian. Don't be anything. You better, because if you're a libertarian, to them, you're essentially a conservative. Don't be anything. Don't be a constitutionalist, because then you're essentially a conservative. Don't be an actual Christian, because then, then you believe in white supremacy. Right? That's it. Yeah. I mean, it. Yes, it is. That's in my. I've done a high level cursory read of that book, but I need to do a deep dive read into that book. It's in my list. I have it on I think I have it on Kindle or Audible, but I need to get both. Yes. Yeah. And look, the only reason I'm doing this, and I'll be transparent with you all, is I could actually just live my day-to-day life and be perfectly fine and never turn this camera on, never pay for any subscriptions. My money, I make a little money on YouTube, but nothing to write home about. I could easily just stay in my silo and keep working on my family and working on my children and loving my wife and doing the stuff that I do, right? Trying to lead my children to greatness, making sure that they're better than I am, smarter, more talented, more capable than I am. I could never turn this camera on and talk about these things. But I also recognize that there's a need for more people, average, everyday people like me. There's nothing special about me, right? There's nothing special about me. I'm just a regular black dude that went to public school and is unlearning everything that I learned there. Oh boy. Unlearning a lot of the things that I learned in the black church. Unlearning a lot of cultural habits that have, because I accepted them, held me back to a certain degree. And I don't want that to happen to my children, so I keep them away from all of that. I want them to expand their minds and to pursue the true, the beautiful, and the good, regardless of color. But there's a need for more people to push back against the prevailing narrative. I even think about it this way. I teach music lessons, and a lot of people that encounter me are not black. But I also know that these same people are seeing all of the people in the culture and online and everywhere else. They're seeing black people in a certain light. And I'm like, well, when they see me, I want them to recognize that everybody's not the same, that you may be seeing a subset, but that doesn't mean that's all of us. And I want them to have a positive experience with a black man. They may have, and I want me to be one of many that they have in actual real life, right? And so, yes, I put that weight on my shoulders every time I go out. I want to make sure that people are having a positive interaction with me as a black man, because it's easy. And we just need people, like I said, we need more people, just regular, average, everyday people, just living their lives every day. Now, let me go to some of these super chats. I got to go to super chats. Yes. What did you say? Yes. Famous white supremacist Jesus of Nazareth, right? Well, you paid for that? Okay. Hey, thanks for the $2. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. Let me pull up some of these chat. Here we go. Yes. Let me see. Yeah, I need to read The Road to Surfing. This is the second time someone has mentioned it, and I need to put that. I have one book that I'm trying to finish right now, and then I'm going to pull it. That one will be my next one. Yes. All right. Yes. There you go. I want the government to be, very small. Very small. Strong military. Right. Yes. Come on, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. I like the sound of that. Right. Government waste and fraud is such a big problem, and neither party seems to want to truly end it. Neither party. Yeah. Neither party. Yep. And it's not. You're right. It's not. It's not the government's responsibility to provide health care. Because essentially what you're saying is that they've turned everything into a right now, right? That's how they frame everything. They put it under the umbrella of a right, and then the government has to provide it. It used to be, American ideals used to be, this, we're going to tame the land. We're going to try to do what's good. We're going to, we're master of what we can control. And now we've moved into a position or an ideology or a mindset or a cultural norm that says that the government has to control everything. My education, what I eat, my money, where I live, everything has to be controlled by, how are we going to get the roads taken care of without the, like, what are you talking about? How is this stuff going to be maintained? The government hires private contractors. They don't have the requisite expertise to handle most of these things. They hire private contractors for a lot of it. But there's some organization we could organize without the government. It really is not. I mean, these people, I don't know. I mean, there's solutions outside of a bloated, massive government. But yes, he said, I'm so whitewashed. All right, there you go. If doing the things that I'm doing is whitewashed, I'm fine with that. If that's how you define it, I'm fine with that. I don't look at it as an insult. If you think that the things that I'm doing are inherently white, that says more about you than about me. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't believe that what's happening in Texas is racist either. That's why I put it in quotes, racist, right? Because we just looked at it. Actual racism in the districting maps was when Ann Richards, Democrat, tried to create racially based districts in Dallas and in Houston for minorities. Yeah, racism is fine, apparently, if Democrats do it. But, yeah, I'm a pure fraud, apparently. Okay, somebody said that. There you go. I don't know, maybe. Am I real? Am I AI? I don't know. I am married. I've got 5 kids. I don't know. Maybe I am a pure fraud. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I am. Yeah. Grifter or brain dead? I don't know. Maybe I'll put myself on a one of those monitors to see if my brain waves are actually working. Or maybe I am a grifter. Maybe I just
I just want some money.
Maybe I just want your money, right? Keep helping me out with it by commenting. Thanks. Yes. Okay. What was the other? Well, somebody else said something. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, what's it? Glaze? You don't care what people think about me? That's a good, yeah, there you go. That's a good way to think about it, right? I don't obsess about it, but I do live in society, and so I do want to have a good reputation. So I do care yes. I do care about my reputation. It's a good thing, as a Christian specifically, to have a good reputation. Let your work speak for you, right? Yeah, I'm not an isolationist, so, yeah. You just live your life. Okay, well, there you go. I ain't telling you what to do. Do what you got to do. Let's see. Right, I know. Let's see. Do I oppose the Illinois-based maps? I'd have to look into them before I actually comment on it. Yes. All right. I know. I'm looking at some of these comments, checking out the comments, guys. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we actually live in a society, so what people think does matter. And if you don't believe that, then that's insane, because people they're doxing people all the time based on what other people think. I mean, there's some real ramifications of what people think about you, what the next person think about you. Right. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the Me Too movement, men didn't even have to do anything. They got destroyed by what people thought of them. I don't know. I'm just sometimes it really is that easy to debunk a lot of this foolishness stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And see, okay, so Alan, let's talk about this before we move on to the next topic, and we may have a little bit more time. All right, yeah, I think we got time. So no, sir, we're not asking for free health care. I think someone else mentioned that. We're asking that these programs, which we've paid into for 40 plus years, Medicare and Social Security, are not entitlements, but system we paid into for 40 years. Now, here's a part of the problem with that. Does everybody is everybody eligible for these programs? All right, is there an income threshold for these programs? Not Social Security, obviously, because I'm essentially paying Social Security right now for the people who are on it right now with no hope of ever getting the money that I put into it back, because our birth replacement rate isn't high enough and we don't have enough people in the workforce, and we've got people complaining about actual work. All I get to do is go home. I work my construction job. I saw a video recently. I just work my construction job and get to go home. I don't even get to go to the gym. I'm so tired by the time I finish my construction job. I just want to go home and go to sleep. Welcome to adulthood. You got to do what you got to do. What are you talking about? Shut up. You know how many people have done this throughout time? This is insane to me, to hear these people complaining about it for years and years. People have done this, worked construction, went home to their families, and yeah. And they didn't complain. Or if they complained, they didn't get online and complain about everything. And now we've got this generation of people who complain about doing what generations before them have done. Now, I'm saying that to say we're paying into the system. I don't think I'm going to see what Social Security. I'm paying into a system to essentially support this generation of Social Security recipients. Yeah. But we have not enough people coming into the workforce paying into Social Security. And so Social Security is essentially going to be a figment of our imagination by the time I'm able to draw from it. So the thousands upon thousands of dollars, and I haven't even checked. It was about 20 years ago that I checked what I contributed to Social Security, and it made me really sad. And I can only imagine 20 years later how much I've paid into it. And I don't think I'm going to get that money back. Now, here's my pushback with this. These were Depression era policies that FDR, get me started on him, implemented that didn't do the country much good. Ultimately, I don't think it did the country much good. And we're still holding on to these relics. Could we just end Social Security? Medicare. End Medicare? Are these things holy and untouchable? Exactly. I knew Brother Derek Franklin. I knew you were coming with the receipts, brother. When I said that, I was like, if Derek's in here, he's going to start talking about it. Oh, man. Yes. I know. I've been reading about that too, brother. About how he caused it. Yeah. Man. But yeah. He made the Depression great. Oh, yeah. No, you're right. We're owed that money. This is what I want. I want them to stop taking it. Don't you? Let me ask you that. Don't you want them to stop taking the money from you? That's my question to people who say that. I'm like, why do we want them to keep taking it from us? Can we push to have these programs abolished? That's not incredible to me. 80%. I gave them 100%. I want my money.
I just want some money.
I want my money. I don't want 80% of my money. Where is that a good deal? Where is that a good deal? That you give somebody 100% of your money and they return 80% of it to you? That's a good deal to you? What? Wow. Yo. Blade, give me $1,000 and I give you 800 back. Would you like that? If you gave me $1,000, I borrowed $1,000 from you. If you gave me $1,000 and I said I'm gonna pay you back, and I gave you 800 back, yeah, now it's not the same, right? And I gave you 800 back. Thank you. I'm like, what? Where do we do that? And now you said false equivalence. Right? It's always a false equivalence when you highlight the folly. False equivalence. Right. You put $1,000, you put $30,000 of Social Security into the government program, and they give you 80% of it back. That's amazing. Thanks, government. That's amazing. Right, you really said that. Like, this is insane. You fine with getting 80% of what you work for? If I work for 6 figures, and somebody said, well, we only gonna pay you 80% of the salary, that's a bad deal. Okay. In any other walk of life, we would see how foolish that is and how that's a bad deal. But apparently, with the government, oh goodness, with the government, it's exceptional, right? Because our standards, I guess, for them are so low. Oh goodness, wow, right? Everybody recognizes how, right? Only a real close friend who is struggling and busting his butt to pay his bills could get away with that one, right? Right. Oh, the argument is already made. You just can't refute it. I get it. You called it a false equivalence, but you're dead wrong. Right. So it is what it is. Have a good evening, sir. Right. All you did was say, oh, logical fallacy, but you didn't prove how it was a logical fallacy. You see, when I teach my students about logical fallacies, I say, well, if you're going to prove it, you have to prove this and this in order to say it. You can't just say it. That's called hyperlogicism. You can't just say it. Oh, everything's a fallacy. Yeah, you learn fallacies. But you have to prove how it is a fallacy. You can't just say that it's a fallacy. So you think you coming in here and playing with somebody who doesn't know. I teach logical fallacies to my sons and daughters, and I've taught logic in multiple settings for the past 3 to 5 years. You're not messing with somebody who doesn't understand. Prove it. That's why I'm laughing at you. Because exactly, you didn't. Right. Anyway, federal government gave me all my money back or exempt me from my federal taxes equal the amount of money I've contributed to Social Security. Right. Yeah. Think about this. Right. Think about this. Look, and Sam said it. He said it right here. We don't even agree on everything, but name one program better than Social Security. Right. And now here, look, now he's coming with the name calling. There it is, ad hominem. Whoa. Right. Right. Where you get your money back not 80%. With the 401k, you could get more than you. Wow, that'd be amazing, right? Depending on how, wow, yeah. 12% return. Wow, that's awesome. You get 80% of your money, or you can invest it and get more. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. Well, Blade has proven himself unworthy of engagement. You can continue to talk. I'm not going to block you, but you're not really. Yeah, you're not really. You're not really worthy of engagement any further, right? I've wasted enough time on you, right? Wow. 80%. He said the government's going to give you 80% of what you put in. That's amazing. Right. Thank you. Right. 80%. Oh, goodness. That's funny. Okay. So, right. Where were we? All right. So we're talking about Texas racist gerrymandering. And we talked about that for a good while. Now, let me ask you all, for the next 23 minutes, I'm going to let you all decide where we go next. Oh, wait, I have to talk about old Singh. Yes, I have to talk about Singh. Yes. Yes. All right, so we've got some. If we get through this one pretty quickly. If we talk about this, we get through this one really quickly, we can talk. We might do a little Q&A for the last 20 minutes. Okay? Let's take a look at this. Okay? All right. All right, so Florida Lieutenant Governor Collins physically rounds up the illegal who killed 3 American citizens, right? So they physically round him up. Now, so we're talking a little bit about illegal immigration and the illegal immigrant truck driver who killed 3 American citizens while executing an illegal U-turn in Florida. He was given a CDL license in California because California is completely woke. And now this is what I want to point something out, because this is this is something I think we need to realize as Americans, right? We need to realize that the rest of the world is so very unlike the left in our country. India is for Indians. They're going to go to bat for Indians. Russia is going to go to bat for Russians. Mexicans. Mexico's going to go to bat for Mexicans. On and on and on and on it goes. Now, there are only a few nations that will not go to bat for their countrymen. The United States, the left in the United States will prioritize the globe over its own citizens. The left in Great Britain will go to bat for the globe before it goes to bat for its citizens. France is headed that way. Multiple European nations are headed that way because of the left in their country, because of the globalists in their country. Keep that in mind as we listen to this woman. Oh, is it doing that loading thing? Yeah. This video was doing that earlier, but we'll see. All right. Canada's another one. Yes, Canada will go to the globe go to bat for the globe over its own citizens. You're right about that. The left in Canada is very consistent, right? These leftists. Well, essentially, all right, she's saying that she calls on India to intervene on behalf of Harjinder Singh, who killed 3 Americans. She don't care anything about Americans, those Americans that died. She wants to make sure that the illegal immigrant who is Indian in this country is protected by his country. But we have Americans, bleeding heart liberals in America, who don't care about the 3 Americans who were killed, but want to make sure that the killer is, his rights aren't violated, that he isn't punished for his crimes. This is where we are in America right now, where American lives, I shudder to think if that had been my family on that road, because we travel, we drive and we travel, and we are on the road with truckers. If that had been my family, I would want him prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and made an example of. From the grave, I'd be yearning for that. Because he gave those 3 people no opportunity to go further in life because of his negligence and his unwillingness to follow the rules. He broke the rules of our country, and then he was unable to continue breaking the rules of our country by supposed countrymen like Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom doesn't care about Americans. Gavin Newsom only cares about political power. Gavin Newsom only wants to rise up the ranks. He wants to run for president. He wants to be seen as the most progressive and leftist of all Democrats. So we can't continue to play nice with these people. The fact that the right and conservatives continue to play nice with the leftists is part of the reason why we're in the situation we're in. Right? Let's see if we can hear, because I want y'all to hear her actual words. Nope, it just won't play. I'll leave a link in the description. But we have people who are actually trying to place the immigrants' well-being and welfare above that of citizens in the United States. So the Great Replacement has already been happening. They have flooded the nation with illegals who've had anchor babies, who've produced offspring for generations. That's why you see the Omar Fates of the world now running, because he's been here for over 20 plus years, came over here, and now he's American, but his allegiance is to Somalia. So we have a nation that is not filled with people who actually believe in the nation. Where India, this woman is calling on her country to defend her countrymen. You can't. You can't have a nation when you don't have shared values. And so now we've got a petition being signed that, where it is. The last check-in, right? Let's look at this. Sign a petition to free the illegal immigrant trucker who made the illegal U-turn and killed those people. He should be sentenced to counseling or community service. What? He killed 3 people. He's here illegally. The lightest thing that should happen to him is deportation, but I think that's too light. He shouldn't be allowed to just kill 3 people and leave. You're already here illegally. 1.6 million signatures for this. What?
I'm in support of Harjinder Singh. I know it was an accident. He made a terrible mistake, not a deliberate choice to harm anyone. He was working hard to support his family, like so many of us, and one wrong decision changed everything. A 45-year prison sentence is not justice.
It's Naprit. I spoke.
What? The lightest thing that should happen to him, the lightest, would be deportation. That's the lightest. But that is not enough. He should not be allowed to end 3 American lives and just skip on back to India. You were already here illegally. So the charges are: you're here illegally, illegal CDL license, illegal operation of a vehicle, vehicular homicide, 3 counts. We can just keep piling on charges. Let's ask. Here it is. Legal penalties. Second degree felony, most cases, up to 15 years in prison, up to 10,000, up to 15,000. First degree, if the driver knew an accident occurred and failed to give information, aid is required by law, up to 30 years. Driver's license revocation, permanent revocation is possible if convicted. 3 counts at minimum 15. They're like community service. What?
Sport Harjinder Singh. It was an accident. He made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, they're all reading the same thing, right?
It was an accident. He made a terrible mistake.
Same thing. It was
It
an
was an
accident.
accident. He made a terrible mistake, not a deliberate choice to harm anyone.
Not a deliberate choice.
It was an accident. He made a terrible mistake, not a deliberate choice to harm anyone. He was working hard to support his family, like so many of us.
It was an accident. He was working hard to support his family.
Thank you. There it is, right there. Justice Mind says it was a 100% preventable accident. He should have never been in this country or behind the wheel. And what needs to happen is it needs to roll up. Who allowed him to get this CDL? They need to be held responsible. Who had him drive? Oh, he was working hard. Look, nobody discounts the fact that you were working hard, but you don't belong here. You don't. And again, I have so many people that, in my sphere that disagree with what I'm saying, right? There are people, I know mostly black people, so a lot of black people don't agree with what I'm saying. Doesn't bother me at all. I want to keep saying it. But I believe that this nation needs to follow his laws. I'm about to head out too, y'all. I got like 10 minutes left. We have laws in this nation that need to be upheld and enforced. And if we don't enforce them, then we're just one big apartment complex for the world. I don't know. It wouldn't even be an apartment complex because you'd have to pay. You'd have to sign some kind of documentation to get into an apartment. Asylum for the world? What are we? What are we? What are we? I don't even understand. Yeah. I'm going to No, I'm not going to do that. So this guy, it was 100% preventable, and now they're all reading this script, just like you have when people are coming after Candace Owens and Trump, not Trump, what's his name, Tucker Carlson. They read the same script over and over again. Like you'll see TikTokers who never talk about politics, who get paid to talk about Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or any non-Zionist, anti-Semite. All of a sudden, they're reading the same script. And the consistent pattern is that it's people who don't really care about the situation. They don't care about, they don't care about the 3 people that died. He's working hard, so their deaths are just, what, collateral damage? What? He needs to keep, what? Community service? Let him stay on the road? What? What are we supposed to do? I agree with Matt Walsh on this one. Let me just, look, I'm going to put it on here. Hold on. I'm going to let the meme say it. Where is it? It's a meme that I had. I should have put it in the I probably won't be able to find it, but let's see. How about this? I'll do this. I'm looking for it, y'all. No, I won't be able to find it. There it is. It's a different one. It's an older meme, but it checks out. There it is, right here. Like, that's the solution right there. That's the solution right there. That's the only thing that will get this that will solve this problem. You're not going to be able to legislate this away. There's no other solution, because they're not here to be American. This is a replacement strategy. And until we recognize that that's what it is. Let's see. I want to make sure that yes. Oh, yes. Okay. So hold on one second. Let's see. I want to pull this up. All right. So the only way you solve this problem, and look at it, this is the problem. Well, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you who, Ice. Oh, was it Tom? Yes, I'm going to tell you. Okay. Beau French. Numbers may not be perfect, but this is a clear, listen, okay? There are 340 million people in America. Since 1965, 50 million illegals have come here. Those illegals had 50 million anchor babies. We learned today that there are 55 million visas. That means 100. Now, his math is probably not accurate. That means 155 million people probably shouldn't be here. That's his, right? His may not be exactly accurate because the estimates, because the estimates in the numbers. All right. So this guy, Josh Haywood, says there's 30 million illegals, 22 million foreign born, 55 million visa holders. That's 107 million, nearly 1/3 of the country. All right. And so this is a problem, because if this group of people doesn't hold to American ideals and values, then America is essentially in decline, and it's on its way to being not the United States of America anymore. Right? Now, those numbers may not be accurate. They may not be exactly accurate, but they highlight the actual problem, which is we have a lot of people in this country that don't adhere or uphold American values, that don't want to be American, save the reasons or the benefits that they can get in an effort to help their home country, because they'll say that, right? Omar Fateh says it. Multiple, Ilhan Omar, multiple Somali politicians have said it. They're interested in supporting and uplifting their homeland, where true Americans have no other homeland. This is my homeland. I don't call any other place home. I was born here. This is my country. I'm not from Africa. I don't have any ties to Africa. I don't know what African tribe I belonged to, or which, let's say this more accurately, which African tribes I belong to or African nations are mixed into and mingled with my DNA. I have no idea. I don't even know which European ones are. I could probably do the DNA test and figure it out. But is that going to change? If I find out that I'm 30% Nigerian and 20% Ugandan or whatever, what is that going to change about me? I was born here. I was raised here. My cultural context is here. If I find out, that I'm part Scottish and then 2/3 or 2.3% Irish on my great grandmother's side, and blah, blah. Okay, great. Now what? Then what do I do? Do I change my accent? No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I know. Right, I know. Right. Never use those DNA sites. Exactly. But what do I do then? Something going to change about me? No, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. Right? But there is a great replacement going on. Someone mentioned it. What is it? Oh, let's see. Where is it? There was another good meme I saw. Well, whatever. I probably won't be able to find it. But essentially what happens is people come here and they have babies. They produce while native-born Americans abort their children in astronomical amounts. So then you're not replacing Americans, but the illegal immigrants are replacing, right? They're replacing themselves and having anchor babies, and those anchor babies are being raised in the culture of the country from which they came, to love that culture, to not assimilate into American culture. They're being taught in the schools that America is inherently evil. Why did you come here then? Why did you come here? If America is that bad, you need more American babies. Now, we have far too many black people deleting their children. Far too many white Americans deciding not to have children. Those of us who actually do have children and are trying to raise them, we have to avoid the culture, because if we, let's say I have children, but the left gets their hands on them, then they're going to try to turn my sons into daughters and my daughters into poor copies of men. And then I essentially should not have had children, because they're not going to continue the line. They have gender reassignment surgery. Now they can't produce children. So even if you do have children, the left is taking them because they're being indoctrinated into these death cult schools. So everything is designed to destroy what is true, beautiful, and good. And Americans have taken the pill, taken the bait, taken the whatever, and just gone along with the program. So, all right. Yeah, they steal your children. Is that really hard to understand? Ideologically. They teach them things that you don't want them taught. Yeah. So, anyway, I was supposed to go until 9 o'clock. It is 9:02. I've got to close it out because I've got to go to bed. Going to spend some time with my wife. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're going to end the show tonight right there. All right. Yes. Now, there really was no decade, and I'm seeing that someone says that. Yeah, there really was no decade that we could go back to. What we need to do is to take certain principles from decades that were good and re-implement them here in the present. And we've got to take away a lot. And, I was like, start with deporting people. ICE, do your job, right? ICE, baby. Do your job. I'm a fan of, hey, whoever does not belong here needs to leave. We need to denaturalize a lot of people. And then Americans will work, because there's been a lie that Americans won't work. Americans won't work for slave wages, and that's the problem. Americans will not work for slave wages, and they shouldn't, right? That's why you have to import the third world. That's why you have to import lots of illegal immigrants. That's why you have to import people who will work for slave wages and pay them slave wages, and then make sure that you have a steady supply of those as the left. Yeah. What's going on, DP? Thank you for the super chat. $20. Wow. All right, let's look at this one. Not sure if Singh went to this CDL school, but the Skyline CDL school in Washington State was shut down a couple of months back for a bribery scandal that involved illegals getting their CDL. He got a CDL in Washington State. I did hear about that on a news story somewhere. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of corruption going on in all of these government establishment. I remember there was a woman recently who was a whistleblower on illegal immigrants getting licenses, and they fired her. People were using her account. She was a whistleblower, and they let her go. She called out people giving out illegals, or giving illegal licenses to immigrants who were not supposed to be driving. Yeah, man, we've got so much corruption going on in government, but people want to continue to support this grift. But if you call it out, if you say anything about it, then you're the Uncle Tom, the coon, the sellout, yeah. But man, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm gonna do some research and see where he got his CDL license from. Let's see. Well, let's do this. There might be some old chat, but we might do this right on. Let me see something real quick. Hold on. Since you did $20, I'm gonna spend for. Let me see. What's his name? Harjinder. I think this is. How do you spell that man's name? I don't even know. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it's right here. It's in my. Where is it? Close these tabs. Hold on 1 second. And do some quick research. There it is. There it is. Oh, wait. Whoop. Here we go. Get it back up there. There you go. All right. My computer doesn't want to be friendly with me. All right. Here we go. There you go. Boom. Let's see. Yes, Harjinder Singh. Well, he said Harjinder Singh. Okay. The illegal immigrant who killed 3 Floridians. Wow. I spelled that wrong. And U-turn. That guy. Let's see. Yes. All right. In California, it says. Okay, so it multiple reports says he obtained it in California. Entered 2018. Okay, so in summary, it says he obtained it in California. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's where it says. I might do some more, but that was just cursory research. Maybe we'll find out something else. Thank you again, DP, for the super chat. Thank you to everybody that commented, right? Liked, subscribed, trolled, praised, were ambivalent, whatever, right? I appreciate you all. Thank you for helping the channel to grow. We got almost 200 new subscribers on this video. We're going for 20,000 by the end of the year. My goal was 10,000. I was at 6,000 at the beginning of July. Then I said I'm going to hit it. And we got to 12,000 by the end of that month. We're at 13,000. I slowed down, only done 5 live streams this month. But we're going to kick it into high gear this week and for the next few weeks to try to get to 20,000. We'll see how quickly we can do it. It's up to you all, right? Because y'all got to like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep doing your thing. All right. And I'll keep producing content for you all. All right. For members, I think I have a video coming for you all. I'm going to start doing some of those lives that I've been doing in the car. I'm going to do them as widescreen videos for members where we discuss fatherhood, life skills, things like that. Right. I'm actually working on my music channel as well. So appreciate you all. If y'all are into music, you might want to, subscribe to it when I rebrand it and relaunch it. We're doing some stuff. All right. Until next time, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. See y'all around. Bye.